So, to analyze Holly Holm's career as a whole and to really break it down, I would say that let's break down the resume here. She fought Raquel Pennington. She's a veteran of the sport. She's been fighting since how long? Like how many fights does Raquel have? She has a lot of losses, I know, but she has a lot of wins also. I mean, she beat Irene Aldana too by split decision. So, Irene's been putting in a lot of work. But, okay, so let's look at the Holly Holm. So she beat Ronda Rousey, the girl that was considered one of the best female fighters of all time, Ronda Rousey. She beat Ronda Rousey. Then she loses to Misha Tate. Misha Tate was on a 3-4 fight win streak at the time. So losing to Misha is not really the end of the world. She was winning that fight also until she got choked out with a rear naked choke at the last round. Valentina Shevchenko, she's one of the goats of the sport. Losing to Valentina is not really the end of the world. She lost to two elite fighters back to back, fighting the killers of the divisions. Jermaine Durandamy, Jermaine, that fight, a lot of people thought that Holly won. I also fall into that category. I think that Holly won that fight. Betch Korea, um, Betch Korea is not a good opponent. She's a bum. She lost to Ronda Rousey by knockout. Cause just let that sink in for a second. Then Holly fights Chris Cyborg. She's the second best bantamweight on the planet after Amanda Nunes, and she lost to her, which was expected. Then she fights Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson's, a fringe contender, not really the best opponent. She has a very limited ground game. Megan Anderson has a very limited ground game. She has a very good stand up, but her ground game is pretty much atrocious. Then she fights the GOAT, Amanda Nunes. She gets knocked out. Okay, I mean, that's just how it is when you're fighting Amanda. And she fights Raquel Pennington and beats Irene Aldana after that. So, she's on a 2-fight win streak right now. And she's going to fight Norma Dumont in October. October, and it's August right now. So she's going to fight in October against Norma Dumont. Probably going to beat her. And then she deserves a title shot after she gets a 3-fight win streak. Yes, I think she does. Because nobody else in the division is on the same win streak that Holly is on. But the problem is that Holly has been given too many title shots. She got a title shot against Ronda. She beat her. Then she had to defend her belt and she lost to Misha. Then she got another title shot against Jermaine Durandamy. She lost that fight. Then she gets another title shot against Chris Cyborg. She loses that one. Then she gets another title shot against Amanda Nunes and she loses that fight also. So she's been given too many title shots at this point. I mean, she probably needs to go back to the drawing board, get at least a 4-fight win streak or at least a 3-fight win streak. Then she can say, okay, I got 3 wins now, so give me a title shot. And then you would say, of course, she should get a title shot. But I think Pena has to fight her first. Amanda's got COVID, right? So she has to sit out for a while. So the fight to make is obviously Norma Dumont. But what do I think about her career? I mean, she beat a couple good fighters here and there. She lost. I mean, her main weakness is grappling. So if she fights a pure grappler, she's gonna lose. Amanda's not a pure grappler though. She's actually a striker with a very good ground game. But her wrestling isn't the best. I think Pena can beat Amanda if they had a wrestling match, but it's an MMA match. But yeah, looking at this, I think yeah, Holly's looking at a title shot soon. Holly's really looking at a title shot. She beat the shit out of Irina Donna. That was a very, very dominant performance. Raquel Penn, yeah, she should be getting a title shot soon. She's looking at a title shot soon. I mean, I think so. But does she deserve the title shot over Pena? Probably not because she lost to Amanda before, and considering the landscape of the division, she has to get a couple more wins before she can demand a title shot. But the landscape of the women's bantamweight division is like changing so much that anyway, in her boxing record, when was she fighting boxing? She's fighting in she started fighting in boxing in 2002. 2002. 2002. And how old is she? She's 39 and she was born 1981. So she was 19 plus 2, 21 when she started boxing. She was a kickboxer before she was a boxer. Is that right? Kickboxing. She started as a kickboxer before she. No, she actually started as a boxer first. They sold John Jones his home. She married Jeff Kirkpatrick. It was revealed that the couple separated, owned filed for a divorce, and sought to get her maiden name back. Okay, it's pretty sad, but whatever. She lost to Anne-Sophie Mathis by knockout, and then she had a rematch and beat her. So she was very good at boxing, but she decided to take her hand into MMA. Whoa, she was fighting MMA at the same time when she was fighting as a boxer. That's really interesting. Yeah, but the problem with Holly is that she has a very bad ground game. That's the only problem with Holly. She has a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That kind of tells you a lot about her jiu-jitsu. It's probably not that great. She's good at boxing and kickboxing, but her ground game is pretty bad. When have you ever seen Holly get a submission? She's never won by submission. She has no wins by submission. So Holly, if you want to beat Holly, you are supposed to take her down. That's been Holly's weakness since she started fighting as a fighter. She's always been a bad ground fighter. Now let's consider this fight with Irene Aldana. She had a very dominant performance, man. Like I was really impressed. The ground game is a lot better now too. I'm surprised she tried to take down the fighter with the highest takedown defense percentage in the UFC's women bantamweight division. Irene Aldana actually has the highest takedown defense in the entire women's bantamweight division. Consider that, and then she's taking her down. With a lot of clinch takedowns. Holly must have been working a lot on those takedowns in camp. Probably part of the game plan to take Irene Aldana down a lot in this fight. You know, Aldana's not really the best ground fighter either. She's a more of a boxer. And I mean, Holly did a really, really good job circling away from. She did a really good job circling away from Irene Aldana's left hook because Aldana has a very good left hook too. She graduated from a college with a degree in graphics design. She grew an interest in mixed martial arts and started training at a local Lobo gym. But how old is she? She's 33 years old, and she started fighting in 2012. So 33, and she was born when? 1988. So she was 12 plus 12. Yeah, she was 24 when she first started fighting. I mean, yeah, yeah, you would do that. She lost by knockout too. But I mean, that's part of the game, though. I mean, part of the sport. You start to fight and then you lose and then you come back and you win a couple fights and then you lose and then you keep winning and then you lose again. Like you're always gonna find someone that's a better fighter than you in that division. Like you're gonna overcome adversity. It's not really about the losses here at the beginning because you're, learning your craft. So if you get submitted or outpointed, you come back and you try to win the next fight. That's really how it works, in my opinion. But you know, Irene Aldana's biggest weapon is her left hook. The way she was able to finish Yana Kunitskaya was really impressive. So that kind of told me that Holly was very impressive because she was able to neutralize that left hook by circling away from the left hook of Irene Aldana. She was really circling away from that left hook. Beautifully circling away from that. Aldana's got, terrible ground game. Even though she's got a couple submissions, Aldana's ground game is, pretty bad. And I'm surprised none of these women tried to shoot on Holly. Holly's ground game is not the best, but obviously Aldana's ground game is pretty bad too. So shooting on Holly, and she's not good at good on the ground either, then it probably isn't the best idea. Holly was probably just trying to get some control time on the ground, taking her down like that. She didn't really mean to take her down, but man, Holly's hands are like something else, to be honest. They're like really impressive. Holly has really good hands.